Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I never thought Miami would be the place where my life split cleanly into before and after. When Emma told me she wanted her bachelorette party there, I didn't hesitate. Sun, clubs, laughter, one last reckless weekend before vows. That's what people do, right? Trust the person they're about to marry. I trusted her completely. We'd been together 4 years. I proposed on a quiet winter night in Boston. Snow falling, her hand shaking as she said yes. She cried. I cried. Everyone said we were solid, the kind of couple that made sense. In the months leading up to the wedding, life felt busy but good. Seating charts, cake tastings, late-night conversations about where we'd live once we were married. Emma was excited, posting countdowns, talking about how lucky she felt. There was no tension, no distance. If anything, she leaned on me more, telling me she couldn't wait for the chaos to be over so we could finally breathe. Her flight to Miami was on a Thursday morning. I drove her to the airport, helped her with her bag, kissed her goodbye at security. She smiled and said, "Don't worry, I'll behave." I laughed and told her to have fun. That was the last normal moment we had. The first 2 days were exactly what I expected. Photos in group chats, poolside drinks. Inside jokes I didn't fully get, but smiled at anyway. Friday night, she called me from the hotel balcony. Ocean behind her, music thumping faintly. She told me she missed me, said she loved me. I believed every word. Saturday night was quiet. Too quiet. No texts. No photos. I told myself she was busy dancing, phones locked away, living in the moment. I went to bed without worry. Sunday morning, my phone buzzed with a message that wasn't from Emma. It was from Tyler, an old college friend who now lived in Miami. We hadn't spoken in years. His text was short. "Hey man, weird question. Is your fiancée in Miami this weekend?" My stomach tightened. I replied yes, asked why. Minutes passed before he answered. "I think I saw her last night. At LIV. She was with a group. And she wasn't acting like someone who's getting married." I stared at the screen, reading the words over and over. I wanted to dismiss it immediately. Mistaken identity. Drunk exaggeration. But Tyler followed up before I could respond. I wouldn't say anything if I wasn't sure. "I'm sorry." I called Emma. Straight to voicemail. Called again. Nothing. I sent a text asking if everything was okay. No reply. My chest felt hollow, like air had been sucked out of me. An hour later, Tyler sent another message. This time there was a photo. Grainy, taken from across a crowded club. Neon lights, bodies pressed together. And there she was. Emma, my Emma. Her hair down, dress riding high on her thigh. Her mouth against another man's ear, his hands on her waist in a way that was unmistakably intimate. I don't remember sitting down, but suddenly I was on the edge of the bed, phone shaking in my hands. I told myself photos can lie. Moments can be misunderstood. Then another message came through. A short video. 10 seconds. Enough to erase any doubt. She was kissing him. Not a quick mistake. Slow. Comfortable. Familiar. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I felt something colder than anger settle in. A heavy, numbing clarity. The woman I was planning to marry was gone, replaced by someone I didn't recognize. Emma finally called that afternoon. Her voice was bright casual, like nothing had happened. She said Miami was wild, that she'd tell me everything when she got home. I listened, silent, as she spoke about brunch plans and flights. When she paused and asked if I was okay, I said yes. Because in that moment, I needed to see how far she'd take the lie. She came home that night, sunburned and smiling, dragging her suitcase through the door. She kissed my cheek, said she was exhausted, and went straight to the shower. I sat on the couch, phone in my hand, staring at the door, knowing the life I thought I had was already over. I didn't confront her yet, not because I was weak, but because I needed to understand how betrayal could win a face of love so easily, and how a single weekend could dismantle years without mercy in complete silence alone. When Emma came out of the shower, wrapped in a towel, humming softly. Something inside me hardened. She moved around the apartment like nothing had shifted, like Miami was just another trip, not the place where she shattered the future we were building. She talked about her friends, complained about a sunburn, laughed about a stranger who spilled a drink on her. I nodded when expected, answered when necessary. That night, she curled up next to me in bed and fell asleep within minutes. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying the video until my chest ached. The next morning, I watched her make coffee barefoot, wearing my old college sweatshirt. She looked comfortable, safe. That familiarity almost broke me. Almost. When she asked what was wrong, I told her we needed to talk. The word talk made her tense for half a second before she smoothed it out. I asked her, calmly, how Miami really was. She smiled and said it was fun, crazy, exactly what she needed before settling down. I asked if anything happened that she wanted to tell me. She frowned, laughed lightly, and said no. That was the moment I knew there would be no confession, no guilt strong enough to surface on its own. I placed my phone on the counter and slid it toward her. I didn't say a word. She looked down, confused, then tapped the screen. Her face drained of color as the photo loaded. She scrolled, watched the video. Her mouth opened, then closed. She whispered my name like it might save her. I asked her who he was. She said it was nothing, a mistake, too much alcohol, pressure from her friends. I asked her how long it lasted. She said just that night. I asked if she would have told me. She didn't answer. She cried then, real tears. She grabbed my hands and begged me to listen, to understand that she panicked about the wedding, that it didn't mean she didn't love me. She said Miami wasn't real life. I pulled my hands back. I told her cheating doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens because someone gives themselves permission. She said she was sorry over and over until the words lost shape. I told her the wedding was off. The sentence felt unreal leaving my mouth, but once it did, I felt lighter. She froze. The tears stopped. She asked if I was serious. I said yes. She reminded me of deposits, of guests flying in, of embarrassment. That was when I realized how differently we saw what mattered. I told her I'd rather cancel a wedding than spend a lifetime wondering who she'd become the next time things felt unreal. She packed a bag that night, not because I told her to, but because she finally understood there was no arguing her way back into the future she'd set on fire. Her parents called the next day. So, did mine. I told them the truth. Some were supportive. Others said I was overreacting, that it was just one mistake. I stopped explaining myself. People who minimize betrayal have usually never carried it. The weeks that followed were strange and quiet. I returned gifts, lost money, deleted seating charts. Emma sent long messages at first, then shorter ones, then none. Social media became a parade of opinions I didn't ask for. I stayed off it. I focused on work, on sleep, on breathing through the moments where grief tried to masquerade as doubt. One evening, a month later, I got a message from an unknown number. It was the man from Miami. He said he didn't know she was engaged. He apologized. I believed him. It didn't matter. Damage doesn't disappear just because no one meant it. I ran into Emma once by accident at a grocery store. She looked thinner, quieter. She asked how I was. I told her I was okay. It was true, not healed, not whole, but okay. She said she thought about me every day. I nodded. We stood there awkwardly between aisles until she said goodbye. That night, I realized something I hadn't been able to name before. Canceling the wedding wasn't the hardest part. Accepting that love without respect is just a slower form of loss was. Miami didn't ruin my life. It revealed it. And walking away, as painful as it was, turned out to be the first honest decision I'd made in a long time.